Hi, welcome to Queer View Mirror, a show about queer people, by queer people, for queer people, and our allies. I am Don.
And I'm Scott, and I'm super excited today. We get to talk to the Victoria Pride Society. The restrictions have been lifted, we can finally gather in person, and they are planning one heck of a Pride celebration.
Oh, exactly. I am so excited. We're going to bring you right to the interview right after this. This is Queer View Mirror coming at ya. Breaking news! An amazing business like yours deserves an amazing video that we can create, execute, and deliver at a cost that won't break the bank and has a value worth far more than what you will pay for. What's even more amazing is how much a business can grow using video ads. Want to learn more? Click the link below to book a free consultation today. You will be amazed.
With us today are Britton Kohn, the president of the Victoria Pride Society, as well as Deirdre, Rowland, the executive director of the Victoria Pride Society, and they're here to tell us all the events that are coming up.
We had such a great conversation with these two lovely individuals. You just gotta watch the interview. Hi, we're in the interview portion of our show, and I am your host, Don Texan, coming to you live from the Tashot and Hupachesset Peoples here in Port Alberni, where we live, love, and play all day. And of course, my co-host, Scott.
Hi, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional and unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, and I'm grateful to the Snanawas and Qualicum First Nations on whose shared territories I'm able to live, work, and play. Joining us today, we have some friends from the Victoria Pride Society, and I'd like to start off with the Executive Director, Deirdre Rowland. Hi, Deirdre.
Hi, Scott. It's really great to be here, be on Queer View Mirror with you both. It's very exciting. Thanks for welcoming us as guests.
Wonderful.
And you were from what land area, Deirdre?
So we're on the territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples of the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations.
Oh, and that's in Victoria, right?
That is otherwise known as Victoria. Exactly.
And also joining us is Britton Kohn. And Britton is the current president of the Victoria Pride Society.
Hello, Scott and Dawn. Thank you so much for having us here. I would like to acknowledge that we, the Victoria Pride Society, organizes and works on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen peoples, and that the land's historical relationships with the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Masonic peoples have existed since time immemorial. Further to this acknowledgement, the Victoria Pride Society affirms that colonialism and the attitudes and practices that have accompanied it contributes to systemic discrimination and violence against Indigenous people. We, the Victoria Pride Society, recognizes that the land we live, work, and play on has historical relationships that predate our organization's existence. In an effort to show greater respect and solidarity with Indigenous peoples, we acknowledge these territories and their historical relationships as part of a greater call for enabling Indigenous sovereignty and Indigenous spaces. Thank you.
That's so wonderful to hear. Thank you again for coming on the show. I'm so glad with your matching hats. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go right into it. 2 years of seclusion and hibernation, and I remember actually that was the first and last so far Victoria Pride I attended was in 2019, but now it's on again. So what are we looking forward to? Tell us about it.
Did you want to start, Britt? I mean, there's so much to talk about. We have really got an exciting program to share with people and some changes too. So I'm going to let our president kick us off.
Well, some of the biggest changes we have is we are back in action, live in-person events this year. And one of the things that we learned over COVID, if we can say there was one tiny positive, was that by hosting virtual events, we created this greater level of accessibility. And and we're going to carry that on into the future. So all live events, we're hoping to have a live stream component to all of them so that all folks can enjoy and access them.
Okay. And this all starts sometime in June this year, right?
That's right. So we have our core events, and then what's going to be different this year is the layout. Traditionally, our festival and parade follows Canada Day. This year, it's going to be a little bit earlier, and that's just due to staffing shortages and working with the city. So we're going to kick it off, the youth kickoff, on June 23rd. I'm going to let Deirdre tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thanks, Britt. And just to mention that the Victoria Pride Festival 2022 is from June 23rd until July the 2nd. And as Britt mentioned, we are kicking off with our Youth Pride kickoff because we do that every year. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to have our Youth Council put together their own version of Pride. They do it with inspirational speakers and performers. You know, they connect with the 2S LGBTQIA+ youth and right across Greater Victoria. And so they put their own programming together. There's, as I said, there's speakers, there's also social advocacy workshops that they put together. They work closely with the GSAs, and it's a really wonderful showcase for them to, you know, start putting together and organizing and programming things that they know that the youth want to participate in.
So that's on June 23rd, and details can be found where?
On our website.
Okay, perfect.
And
we'll
then,
just make sure to flash the website address in our show.
VictoriaPrideSociety.org.
Okay, perfect.
Wait, do that again.
What's that?
Do that again.
VictoriaPrideSociety.org.
Okay.
Right there.
So it all starts with the youth. That's so nice that the youth are involved and they're very active. And so how many youth are we talking about?
I think right now in the Youth Council, what we have active is 10 to 12 youth consistently. We have a youth chair that leads that. And they do a phenomenal job working with our chair on our board. And so it's something that happens year round, monthly, lots of workshops, different information. And again, that can be found on our website.
Okay, perfect. So after June 23rd, what are we looking at after that?
And then next is the big gay dog walk on June 24th. We're gonna start marshalling around 6:30. The walk will start at 7, following with a trick and costume contest.
Wow.
So bring out your furry friends, however you interpret that, and bring out all of your costumes and designs and tricks. So there'll be some great prizes to be won for that. It's free, everybody's welcome. It's at the corner of Cook Street and Dallas Road, where it's always held. And so that's going to be, I'm most excited about that one, to be honest.
Well, I'm excited too, because I just got a furry baby last January, and Scott is getting a new furry baby as well sometime. Do you have him already, Scott?
No, next week.
Okay.
He'll be coming home.
There you go.
So you'll be teaching all of those tricks, getting ready, getting your costume prepared. And I always say some of the most impressive ones are where the dogs actually get their humans involved. Humans are dressed up with their dogs. So that's always an exciting adventure.
Here I come, YouTube.
Kind of. It's great because it's, you know, you show off your own pride, but it's also an opportunity to show off your dog's pride. So
yeah, for sure.
And win prizes. It's a competition for good tricks competition. So there's lots of great prizes, which
That's
is really
so
fun
cool.
too.
And you do not need to have a furry pet to come down and enjoy and be part of the voting. So it's an audience voting. We are looking at the potential. We're not sure if there can be an online voting like there was last year, but we're looking into that.
Oh, you got me curious. What kind of dog won last year?
The most beautiful dogs won last year. We had one of our persons on the board has a big, beautiful boxer named Anthea. Dolled out in all the regalia and all of the different things. So that's the one that stood out in my mind. I know there were some other winners, I'm sorry. But I don't have favorites, but that one stands out.
Well, they'll have another. They will have another shot this year. So here we go.
Here we go. Let's do it.
And then what happens after that?
well.
Well, let's talk about the Sunday, because that is the grand Pride Parade. And I'm going to let Britt take it, because when it comes to the Pride Parade in Victoria, the Victoria Pride Parade, Britt is your person, your go-to person.
So what date do we have on the Grand Parade? The 20...
So that is June 26th at 11 a.m. The Victoria Pride Parade will start. We have a different route this year. So due to the government street closures, a lot of the parades have had to change their route. So we will be assembling off of Tyee and Esquimalt Road over in Esquimalt. We will head over the Johnson Street Bridge, where we hopefully will have our opening ceremony with our Indigenous guests of honor and Two Spirits performers, I believe is what we've had in the past years. And so that's all still coming together. We will then go down Wharf Street, take a right onto Government in front of the Empress, where we will have our amazing comedic host, as well as maybe a beautiful queen in her, what do we want to call that, veranda of the Empress. We'll be looking down and emceeing the parade as well. So there'll be a lot of involvement. And then one of the biggest changes that we're trying to include in all of our events is accessibility. So we're looking at, in front of the legislature, you take a right onto Belleville, is having accessible seating and a handy dart drop-off and accessible seating in that area for folks to enjoy the parade. And then we're gonna end, so we're not taking the festival all the way to the parade. We are gonna stop at Menzies and Superior. That will be the dispersal lot. And then folks will be able to meander and take their time and get to the park. So those are some of the big changes. We're really excited. We have a different system that we'll speak to later, a social impact model. So for folks that wanna be in the parade, if you are a 2S LGBTQIA organization group, your entrance is covered. We want you in the parade. We want to celebrate you. We want to showcase you. And in doing so, bringing the community together.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then it's going to take us to the festival, and Deirdre is going to share a lot of information because we also have some big changes there.
Yes, indeed. So this is all happening on Sunday, June 26th. After the Pride Parade, we've got the Pride Festival in the park, and that's in McDonald Park in James Bay. And we're looking forward to thousands of people, coming together in a festive atmosphere. It will be, for the first time, we're going to license the entire park, and we're going to make it an experiential event. So people will come. They will have different entrances. You will get a wristband. You will be able to wander around and enjoy the festivities. So if you're used to participating in I would say, the beer garden, now you can walk around with your beer or with your root beer or whatever you want to imbibe in. So it's a little bit of a change. It means that you can wander around. It'll create more connection, and it'll build community. And we're really excited to do that this time. We want to bring people together, create a sense of belonging, bring people together in a caring way, and want to allow the community to be in the park and walk around and experience it for themselves and have the inspiration of what's going on stage. We'll have different activities. We'll have a kids play area with families. We're of course going to have our drag story time and bands and music. There is going to be performances. We've got, of course, some of the best drag talent in Canada. That will be part of the evening series, and the morning series, more sort of the early afternoon, will be more family friendly. And then we're going to kind of transition into more of a adult oriented program. So it's a little bit of a change for the festival, but we think it's a welcome change.
Yeah.
I really admire the level of inclusion that you're talking about. Could you comment on that? And, what was that journey of inclusion like for you, and what kind of spurred it on, and where are you hoping to go to?
Can I speak to that, Deirdre?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, Britt, you take it from here.
Okay. One of the biggest feedback that we've had in the past is just financially to fence off a park and have that level of security has just been cost prohibitive for a free event for all ages to come and enjoy. And so what happened was you couldn't bring your family, your dog, your stroller, and we really wanted it to be inclusive. And because of, let's call it pandemic times, there's this giant park that we didn't quite utilize all of it. So now what we've done by being able to fence it off is every square foot is in action, is in use. We've doubled our vendor capacity. We've more than doubled, but by having fencing all the way around, we've enabled us to work with that many more partners that we want to showcase and highlight them. The other part is we have a big, huge food truck vendor area that is on the concrete pathway. So what this does is anybody with any kind of accessibility needs can mobilize themselves from a handy dart access point. So essentially, accessible entry is VIP entry. You are going to be treated as VIP in this park, and we want folks to feel seen, heard, and included. And one of the biggest steps in doing that is what a lot of people don't know is I had mobility challenges, and it was really difficult just to walk across the park and go find a bathroom. Then I got to go over here and over here. So what we're doing is we're really trying to pull in a bunch of volunteers to help make this park incredibly accessible. The hours have expanded as well. So from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. rather than noon until 6. So just trying to make it a bit more accessible and have an area where you can come before all the parade folks come and filter in, is you can come find your spot, put out your lawn chairs, come and check out all of the things that are around and get to really view the vendors before the park gets really busy.
So at this point, I would assume that there are vendors already have signed up and groups are already signed up and the floats are already ready. And like, how many groups are you expecting?
In the past, we had about 120 vendors. We can accommodate up to 220 vendors.
Oh, wow.
And in the past, we had 120 parade participants. We're not looking to expand that. We're looking to be, how do I say this, really looking at through a social impact model. We're going to be vetting parade participants. What do you do for queer communities year round? How do you show up year round? And those are going to award sort of how you get into the parade. So those spots are coveted, exclusive, and really centering our 2S LGBTQIA+ folks first.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would add to that. That's exactly what we're doing. Is we're centering our communities, and what we're trying to do is emphasize inclusion, diversity, and equity. And so we're really asking our partners, what are you doing to help our communities? Let us know what you're doing, because we do want to make a difference in people's lives, and we want our partners to be on board with that.
So I have a question now. So you emphasize inclusion, diversity, and equity. Was this not as intense as now as compared to before? Do you feel like you're doing more for these three elements?
To be honest, what I will say is the Pride Society board, when I started volunteering in 2011 and joined the board in 2015. There's about 6 of us volunteers that created the entire Pride Week of events from start to finish and executed it. So David Tilson, the past president, wore a lot of that and did a lot of that work as a volunteer. What that meant was there simply wasn't the people, power, and resources and humans to be able to answer concerns or build those bridges to the other parts of our communities. And those communities felt disconnected, not a part of Pride. A big community of that is our elders that pioneered the way to make this happen for us. And so what we're trying to do now is we have a board of 12 strong, phenomenal human beings, and strong, I mean, in all of the community ways, and what we're trying to bring forward with this new culture and new leadership and having our first ever hired executive director means that every email is answered and responded to, and every voice is heard. We might not have a solution right away. We want to hear your voice, and we want you to be at the table with us, and that's what we're trying to grow and build. So yes,
that's wonderful.
It is definitely at the forefront.
That's absolutely admirable, and that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
So you said the first executive director, there was no executive director in the past?
We have never had a paid staff.
I see.
Now we have a contractor that the board, because we didn't have to put on a in-person event, it meant our rainy day budget. Because if you remember, the last year was a literal rain out. We're preparing for rain now, so come for all weather conditions and have fun and stay the entire time. Is what we realized in this place of growth is we needed to have a strong leadership come in and be able to be the face, the human, and lead with kindness and caring. So one thing that Deirdre has wowed us with is her ability as a media and publicist is to take this message and deliver it to everyone else. And so she's doing a phenomenal job at that. And I absolutely love working with Deirdre. So thank you for being here with us.
Oh, it's very mutual, Britt. You know, that's kind of why we're wearing the hats, because the first time I ever met Britt was wearing the hat, and then I got one, and I was like, oh, you know, we gotta do this interview shtick. But I will say, you know, it's been really important to take on this role, and part of it is looking at expanding our organizational capacity. You know, and that's what happens a lot of times with Pride is there's a lot of burnout. And so this way that there's more of a person who's hands on deck all the time. And so within this, the new leadership role, I can say that what I'm doing is I'm enabling the Pride Society to become more sustainable and also, you know, better equipped to support what we talked about earlier, what is inclusivity for all. And that's the goal. And the culture is, as I said to people when I first started, is to bring people together in a caring way. And that's sort of the message, because Pride is love, Pride is celebration, Pride is remembering the people who have gone before us, you know, the legacy of those that we've walked on their shoulders. And we know that there's so much work to be done still where we are today, and we got to continue that and remember those who have gone before us and take the path, take it forward.
So in this year's Pride celebration for Victoria, what would be on the forefront of like stating your purpose or the impact that you want to achieve? What would be like your theme, or how would you state your theme for this year?
Our theme is, because we're coming out of the pandemic and everybody's been isolated, our theme is, you know, pride in you. So it's about, you know,
I love it.
what pride means to you, you know, pride in you, pride in intersectionality, pride in community, you know, pride in community building, pride in local. And so it really is about sharing that, what pride means to you. So it's all about celebrating the pride in you.
That is so wonderful to hear. I mean, thank you for doing this. Because it's seldom that you hear, when you talk about Pride, the Pride parades, like the Pride parades I've been with, it's just like, it's a festivity, it's an event. But I miss the clarity of what they're trying to achieve. Like, what is the purpose of doing Pride? Is it just to celebrate? Is it just to show off? Or is it just to, you know, make a public event and acknowledge our existence and like that? But the way you're talking about how you're doing things this is so clear, and this is so purpose driven, and I just love it. Like the Pride, So thank you for doing this. It's so wonderful. I really look forward to going there. Rain or shine, I will be there with my stiletto boots.
Well, the good thing for you, Don, is that once the festival's over, Pride Week is not over.
Mm-hmm.
We then carry on to the 1st. So on July 1st, Canada Day, is when we hold the Memorial Drag Ball game. David Tilton, our past president, it began with him and his friends, and through the AIDS pandemic, a lot of those folks that they played ball with are no longer with us, sadly.
Oh.
And so it is truly a memorial. It is a family fun event. I believe David Tilson and then also another local drag queen, I won't say who it is, will be co-hosting, and it will be held at Vic West Park as it has been. And then on the 2nd, what are we doing, Deirdre?
You know, we've got that wonderful event. It's a legacy event, not unlike the drag ball, which is a legacy event. Some of these events started, you know, like they've been going on for, you know, decades. And Pride in the Word, of course, is one of the largest, if not it is actually the largest Pride literary event in Canada. It is hosted this year again by the renowned founder, Belay Nickerson. And Belay is so excited to be back and is featuring 6 writers that are bringing an intersectional lens to our 2S LGBTQIA+ communities with their words and their performances. And so we're really excited that it's going to be hosted at the Victoria Conference Centre, as I said, on the Saturday, July the 2nd from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Of course, all the tickets and all the information will be on our website. So look for that. That is going to be really fun. The other thing is we're trying to bring in a really exciting queer writer that will do a workshop. So that could be something that a master class. And so that will be happening on the Saturday ahead of time. And that could be really exciting for people to look forward to as well.
Wow. That is so exciting. I'm already thinking about my outfit and my dog's outfit.
Yes. And to touch on that, if I may add, is the biggest thing that I think we as Pride is celebrating Pride in You is really trying to teach and to share with our allies and with other people in our community, so other queer people, is that the work is not done. Let's celebrate. It is also an act of protest, which means, you know, from an intersectional lens, if you walk this world and you feel safe and you can hold your partner's hand, there's someone else who is going through some things and they have they're underserved. And so we really, I guess, what I want to take that point is all of our events, our volunteers, our board members, that lens that we're coming from is how do we help? How do we use our platform to elevate those underserved voices? How do we bring these folks to the table? And how do we share that? And how do we build and grow together as a community? Because if we're all not celebrating, is it a celebration?
And that's exactly where we're at with Queerview Mirror. That is our whole mission, is to bring awareness and to bring, you know, people in front of other people and have those conversations. Absolutely. Visibility is so important no matter who you are. And, you know, just by being visible, you can give someone else permission to be visible.
That's beautiful. Thank you for doing what you two do. It's very important work. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well, listening to what all you've said, I mean, it just so aligns with, like as Scott said, our mission in Queerview Mirror, like inclusion, authenticity, and, you know, all this stuff that's coming together. I'm just so happy that I have lived to see the day of this happening, and more is going to be happening pretty soon too as well. So it doesn't end with the celebration, it continues. And it's sort of like a wake-up call to everybody that yes, we're here and we're here to stay, and we're moving forward.
Yes. And the other part that Pride's doing is we're connecting. There's amazing queer humans in town putting on phenomenal events. We're still in conversations now, so I don't want to announce them all and how we're participating, but we're going to be partnering with to bring family fun, sober events that'll have a different sort of atmosphere for all folks. And so go to our website, you'll see events, the community events will be added. There's a lot to do over the month of June and into July.
Oh, and I saw, speaking of your events, a sober dance.
Yes.
So what does that look like?
So there's going to be a couple different ones. So the sober dance, I believe, is going to be after Queer Bike Prom. A bunch of individuals that were from Calgary, there's a Queer Bike Prom that happens. And so it's most likely going to happen on July 2nd, where you get to decorate your bikes, join up with family, and then afterwards there's a big dance party, kind of like a prom. So it's Queer Bike Prom. And that's going to be a sober event. And I know that in town, Antonimo also puts on a sober dance party as well. And then the Queer Float on the Gorge, not sure what day it's going to be happening, but it's basically get out your floaties, bring out your kayaks, have fun. You get to go around and hang out with each other, and that's family fun, and it's a sober event as well. And then
where are we going to float?
The festival.
Is it a float or a float? A float,
like
a parade float.
Like a rubber floaty float.
Oh, so you're going down a river or something.
So it's called the Gorge. Which for folks, when they hear the gorge, locally go, by that time, it is cleaner than all of the local lakes. It is a beautiful freshwater meets ocean water area. The inaugural event happened last year, and it was an absolute blast. And so we want to partner with them.
So you're calling it the Queer Float?
The Queer Float.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
In Port Alberta, we had some kind of float, and the Snap River, we call it the Fruit Float.
That sounds fun.
It was fun.
I'll come up for that. Awesome.
Oh wow, it's so exciting to see all that's gonna be happening, and you know, innovative people and forward-thinking people like yourselves are involved, and Victoria Pride is fortunate, blessed to have the two of you on the helm of all these things.
Oh, thanks, Don. We have such a great team. I should mention our team. We've got a great board of directors, and we've got a great people coming on to volunteer and take part in all of the meetings that we're having. We're also partnering with our festival society here too, and shout out to them for the great support they've given us, and talking about, you know, how to do those contractor things and look for different ideas and who to work with. And so there's a lot of partnering going on behind the scenes, which has been really, really dynamic and interesting. And it's been fabulous for me to work with Brit because you know, they've been really instrumental in bringing together a very good team of people. And so I'm just very thrilled to be one and be part of that.
That's wonderful.
But it really does sound like quite the action-packed week, and
I know,
an exciting week.
And the big part we're trying to bring from it is there are going to be events throughout the year. So we're trying to create some of these events that lead up to Pride that'll happen 3-4 times within that year. So there's not a big gap. We'll be doing things as the Pride Society and putting on events throughout the year. And the big thing we want to say to folks is, if you want to partner with us, if you want to volunteer with us, if you want to be in the parade, do that. Go to the website. It all starts with filling out an application. And once our partnership information comes out, folks will learn a lot more about our social impact model that we have. So the more you do for us year round, the higher you are up there. And we want to build that community and keep the conversation going. So thank you.
Okay, so Deirdre, any last words for to call out to the people who are watching today? We're going to be watching.
They're going to be watching. I was going to say, like, check out our website for sure. There's a lot of really great legacy events. There's new things coming. We've got a dynamic team of people. Volunteer with us. We would love to have you. We're going to build community. We're going to create a sense of belonging. We are going to do Pride in a way that is going to be unique and special, and we want to bring people on board. So come and join us. And as Britt said, check out our website. You know, it's victoriapridesociety.org, and we can't wait to meet you and learn about you and hear your stories.
Yes,
it's interesting. Like when I talked to, because I talked to Mayor Lisa Helps in Victoria, and I said, like, why do you think that Victoria is sort of, there's a change here in the last 10 years? I really noticed it and noted it. And she came back and said, well, it's because, well, for one, there's a queer mayor, but there's queer councillors. Like, she definitely was definitive about calling the people who were on council who fit under our, like, beautiful rainbow-esque umbrella queer. And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That shifts things. That shifts things a lot when the politicians start using the wording that's out there in public, and then it's it just doesn't become such an issue.
Well, and, you know, even 25 years ago, we had Queer Eye for the Straight Guy the first time round, right?
Yes, that was great.
The weird queer. What was that other one?
And we had Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk, thank you. So
Britain and US.
So, you know, even back then we started reclaiming it, but I think it was still too hot back then to actually take off, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, we got so much hate mail initially. And there's nothing I like more than being challenged, right?
It's like I have to show off one thing before we go. One second.
I love to have that conversation, you know, and I will always have that conversation. But the hate mail we got was from gay men, you know, and all of them my age and older.
Yeah, we had that issue when I lived on Salt Spring Island because, you know, there was a relatively strong gay male community, and they really, the older, anybody like boomer and up hated queer. They were just so against it. And we were like, well, you know, that's the word, and they had to get used to it, and they finally did. It took a really long time.
Yeah.
He's my baby, 5 months old.
Oh,
so cute. Is a little Frenchie?
French pug, so he's a frog. His father is a pug and his mother is a Frenchie. From my sister in Prince George. He's so cute.
I love the little, like, how the white comes up through under the chin.
Yeah, here.
There's a little goatee.
Yes. So you two are going to come down and do some kind of match food outfit for the dog walk?
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna color this part of him blue. Like my hair will be blue again. I have to get a hair color.
Oh my gosh. What's his name?
Donovan.
Donovan.
Donovan is my middle name, so I gave me. So it's Donovan, and then my not yet boyfriend is Dave, and I'm Dawn, and my mom's the Dolly Mama.
I love it. I love it. Oh my god. I love when dogs have human names. You're just yelling, Donovan!
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, but I added like an honorific. His name is Sir Donovan, and he has a Facebook page called My Delightful Sir Donovan.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna find delightful Sir Donovan. That's amazing.
Oh my God, what a wonderful conversation. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Hi, I'm Dawn. I am your wonderful Alberni Valley video specialist. What is a video specialist, you might ask? Well, he's somebody who is creative and knows how to use available technology. And with that combination, your imagination is the only limit. Here we are in our green screen studio where we can do so many things. All you have to do is imagine it and we will do it for you. We can create cinematic video ads for your business. We can live stream your event anywhere, anytime, in real time. And we have this studio where we have creative technology at our fingertips. Give us a call today and we'll show you what we can do.
What a great interview, Dawn. What are you looking forward to the most?
There's so much to choose from. Off the top of my head, based on our interview, I would say the dog walk, the queer float, the bike prom, and of course, the parade itself.
Oh my gosh, the parade. I can't wait to see what the new route is about and the new vendors.
There's going to be so much and a lot to look forward to. Thank you, Deirdre, and thank you, Britt, for coming on the show. And that's our message to you, people who are watching. June is coming up. It's going to be here sooner than later, and you got to get ready. It's going to be so much fun.
Yep, get out there, be visible, and celebrate with your friends.
Exactly. And as a closing statement, based on the interview, remember what Deirdre said, it's pride in you, and everybody is included in that. We'll catch you next time on Queer View Mirror. Go to queerviewmirror.com to watch a show about queer people, by queer people, for queer people, and our allies. And make sure to smash that subscribe button.